Welcome back to Fear Begins, the place where every story crawls under your skin and lingers in your thoughts. Tonight's tale is for those who think Halloween is all fun and games. Have you ever walked past a house and just felt something wrong? Like it shouldn't be there? If you've ever felt that way, comment below and tell us. And while you're at it, share this story with someone you wouldn't want to be stuck with on Halloween night. Also, drop your city or state in the comments. We want to know where our horror family is watching from. Now, let's take a walk down Hazel Lane, and whatever you do, don't knock on the last house. It started like most things in our town, with a stupid dare. Every Halloween, the older kids on Hazel Lane would challenge the younger ones to do something idiotic. It was tradition, innocent, mostly harmless. Eat a spoonful of hot sauce, knock and run, tell the weird guy on Maple he looked like a frog. Dumb stuff, but this year, the dare was different. Bet you won't knock on the last house, said Dylan, a high school sophomore with a mop of greasy hair and permanent BO. The one at the end. 1411 Hazel. Everyone went quiet. We all knew about 1411. It was wrong. Not haunted in the ghost story way, just off. No one had seen anyone go in or out in years. The mailbox was rusted shut. The grass grew like no one lived there. Yet it was somehow never tall. The curtains never moved. The porch light was always flickering, even though it shouldn't have worked. Some said an old woman lived there. Others said it was empty. A few swore they saw kids looking out of the upstairs windows, but no one ever proved anything. It was my turn. My name's Tyler. I had just turned 14, and it was my first Halloween without a parent trailing me. So when Dylan held out the grimy plastic pumpkin full of candy and said, "You get the whole bowl if you knock," I knew I had to do it. It was 8:52 p.m. My friends, Casey and Eleanor, stood at the edge of the lawn, nervous but excited. I remember turning back, smiling and saying, "It's just a knock. What's the worst that can happen? If only I knew." I stepped onto the walkway. It was cracked, but not with age, like it had been deliberately split, shaped like something had been clawing its way toward the door. I remember that clearly. The wind died as I approached the porch. The flickering light buzzed once, then steadied as I reached the front steps. The air felt too still, like the house was holding its breath. I lifted my fist. Knock, knock, knock. 3. Short taps. I waited. Nothing. I turned to go. Then the door creaked open, just a sliver. I froze. My heart slammed against my ribs. "Guys," I called out. But Casey and Elena were gone. The street was empty. The jack-o'-lanterns lining the sidewalks had all gone dark. The laughter, the footsteps, the distant sound of someone playing Monster Mash, it had all vanished. I turned back to the door. It opened wider. A hallway stretched in front of me, lit by a single orange bulb that seemed impossibly far away. And standing just beyond the doorway, barely visible in the shadows, was a figure, short, pale, still. A little girl in a tattered Halloween costume. A black cat, I think. She tilted her head. "Are you here to play?" Then she vanished. I don't know what made me step inside. Curiosity, maybe. Stupidity, more likely. But the moment I crossed the threshold, I knew something was wrong. The air was thick, not dusty, wet. Like the house was breathing, exhaling mold and sorrow. The floorboards didn't creak. They moaned. The hallway stretched longer than it should have. I turned to look behind me. The door was gone, not closed. Gone. Just solid wall behind me now. I ran forward, trying doors, windows. Everything was fake, painted shut or leading nowhere. I heard the girl again. Tyler. Her voice echoed through the halls. Then I saw them. The photos, black and white images lining the walls. Children, all wearing Halloween costumes. But their eyes had been scratched out. Not drawn over, gouged, like something clawed the faces in rage. Each frame had a date, and one of them was today's. I was in the photo, same hoodie, same expression, scratched out eyes. I screamed. Somehow I ended up upstairs. I don't remember walking up, I just arrived. The hallway was narrower, the wallpaper torn and breathing. That's the only way I can describe it. It pulsed with every step I took. I passed doors. Some were silent, others whispered. I stopped at one that was slightly ajar. Inside, a room, a child's bedroom, pink walls, a crib, toys, and in the corner, the girl. She was curled up, rocking. "I can't leave," she whispered. "He won't let me." I asked her who. She didn't answer, just pointed to the mirror. I looked. My reflection smiled back at me, but I wasn't smiling. Then my reflection raised its hand and waved. I didn't. I ran. Eventually, I found a door that led down. Basement, of course. The steps were soaked with EO. What? I don't want to know. The air was metallic, blood and rot. At the bottom, shelves of masks, dozens of them, child size, adult size, all emotionless, all staring. Then I saw him. A man. No, not a man. Something wearing a man's skin. His body was distorted, like he'd been folded and twisted to fit inside human bones. He wore a mask too. Plain, blank, porcelain white. He turned slowly. "You knocked," he said. "Now you stay." He raised his hand. The room exploded in screams, dozens of them, coming from the walls, the shelves, the masks. They weren't just decorations. They were people, trapped. I ran. Somehow I found stairs, a door, a hallway. I didn't stop. I burst out of the house, back into the night. Everything was normal again. Kids laughing, pumpkins glowing, Casey and Elena waiting. "Dude, what took so long?" Elena asked. I stared at them. "You were gone." "The house." "What house?" Casey said. I turned. 411. Hazel Lane wasn't there, just an empty lot. Overgrown grass. No walkway, no porch, no flickering light. I turned back to my friends. "Let's go," I said, but I felt it. The mask in my backpack. I didn't put it there. Not every house is meant to be visited, especially on Halloween. Next time someone dares you to knock, think twice, because some doors open both ways, and once you're seen, you might never be forgotten. Thanks for watching Fear Begins. If this story chilled you, leave a comment, share with someone you'd never trick or treat with, and subscribe for more daily horror drops.